joining us this morning. Okay, Richard sends in the first date and weather. He says Kochaya Hashitomi. Laura says Hoshonti. And Aaron says Libisha. Besides Hoshonti, what's the weather like? What's the temperature like in Florida? I want to make sure I bring the proper clothing. And I haven't checked the weather in your area, but I usually check the weather or the forecast before I leave, but I haven't done that either. Okay, that's pretty much what we have here, so I'm set. I'm good to go. Okay, Holissa Hortina Pokoli Tasapi Akucha Tuklo Kipisa. Okay, good. We're looking at Katima Katuma. Katima. Katima is the word I understand to mean where. It also means which. And given the way it's used, it's going to be understood whether or not it means where or which. Its use will determine that. The word for where is used either with a verb of motion or a verb of location. But if the subject is a place, such as a building, town, or geographical site, katima may be used as the main predicate itself. Isobamat katima pit balili. Isobamat katima pit balili. B. Sapugnia katima anta. Sapugnia katima anta. C. Ukata chitoyat katima. Ukata chitoyat katima. In the first example, you see katima in the object position. In example B, you see it also as the katima anta is going to give a sense of location. And ukata chitoya katima is where you're going to see katima as the main predicate. The fourth example is on the following page. It says Oklahoma Tamaha Chitoya Katima. And here again you see Katima as the main predicate. Where is Oklahoma City? And it goes on to say, because Katima also means which, Sometimes katima takes the particle kakon, which lends the sense of definiteness to a word. Katima kakon then means which place, as distinguished from which direction or just which. And this is something that I don't agree with, because to mean katima kakon or katima kakosh, it doesn't give you both terms. Katima kakosh or katima kakon is still going to ask which. It will still ask which. It doesn't give you other information that's going to mean which place. Because when we're talking about a place, then it takes on a different particle that's going to give the idea of it being a place. But I do not accept, or I don't agree, that katima kakon means which place. Because following katima kakon, you also have katima kakosh, and it doesn't give you that information either. So understand that katima kakon plus katima kakosh, both are going to mean which. The first example says tali katima ishon benili. Katima in this sense is asking which rock, because it's going to modify tali. Which rock? And it says katima kakon ish benili. And katima kakon, like I said, still means which. So I can't use this to mean where and which place are you sitting. If I wanted to ask someone, where are you sitting? Or I'm thinking in terms, a lot of times you have to kind of get a visual on maybe a supposed conversation. You might meet someone in the hallway after you have entered an auditorium for a performance of something, and you meet someone in the hallway. Where are you sitting? And that's still asking where. It's not asking in which place are you sitting. You're still asking where. So I don't use katima kakon in this manner. And in the vocabulary list, let's go to that real quickly. It does give you katima kakon, meaning which place, and I don't use that to mean what place, which place. It still just means which, because which is going to modify a noun. And where you see katima, it says where, in what direction. And then on page 56, you see katumma. Katumma, it says where, meaning in what place. Well, that's not necessarily true either, because katimma and katumma are only dialectical differences. They both mean where, and one, I believe it was in I was trying to find where I saw this, where it tells you that katimma speakers and katumma speakers will use this particular term. I'm not seeing where that is in this chapter. So I won't address that. But there was the information given that katima and katumma, one is going to mean something different from the other. It doesn't. People who use katumma for where are also going to use katumma for which, the same way that katimma speakers will use katimma for where and for which, depending on context. it will be understood through context. So go back to where it says the word for where is used either with a verb of motion or a verb of location. If the subject is a place, such as a building, town, or geographical site, katima may be used as the main predicate itself. That's something to keep in mind, because in example C, you say katima anta, where you're going to ask where is, and anta is going to give that sense of being. And as I said before, katima and katoma are only dialectical differences. There's probably 2 or 3 ladies here in our building that use katima or katoma consistently. I use katima just as consistently, and we both mean where. Katoma does not mean something different than katima. They both mean where. And that's according to speakers themselves. One does not mean something different than the other. They both mean where, they both mean which. And the difference is understood through context. So I don't use katima kakon to say which place. Showing katima to understand which direction, katima. This is also understood through context. Let's look at the sentence under katimi. It says katimi ho talima ishpila. Suppose we were asking, where did you throw those stones? Talima katima ishpila. Where are you throwing those rocks or stones? Talima katima ishpila. Where are you throwing those stones? And a Katoma speaker might use the same sentence instead of in Katima, they would say Katoma. Okay, I'm going to give you my understanding of Katima Kakon or Katima Kakosh. These are particles, markers that are going to be explored more in depth as we learn to put more particles together to give the different meanings to certain words. My computer is acting weird today. These are the 2 words I'm talking about. And like I said, sometimes these particles get introduced and there's really not a lot of information. But usually when you see the osh, you're going to see the on. Ofi katimma kakosh in bakyo. Which dog? Katimma kakosh is going to modify ofi. Which dog? Which dog? Ofi katimma kakosh in bakyo. And you use the osh marker when the noun is a subject. Ofi katimma kakosh in bakyo. And the second sentence says, Ofi katimmakakon ish ipitatuk. The O, the nasal O, is going to be used when the word is modifying a object, when it modifies a direct object. Ofi katimmakakon ish ipitatuk. In the first sentence, Ofi is the subject, modified by katimmakakos, which dog. In the second sentence, Ofi is the object, modified by katimmakakon, because ish is the subject. Ofi katimmakakon ishipitatuk. They both still mean which. One is going to show you it modifies the subject. The other will show you it modifies the object. And they both still mean which. It doesn't say which place. It just says which. Wanted to point something out to you. And I forgot to write down the page number. It's on page 227 in your dictionary. 227 in your dictionary. If you don't have your dictionary, then jot the page number down and you can look at it later. You're going to find the word katimma in the left-hand column toward the bottom of the page, katimma. It tells you it comes from kati and ma. It's an adverb meaning where, anywhere. Also means which. And then there you're going to see katimma kakosh, which is going to mean which. And then for following almost to the bottom of the page, you see katimma kakosh. Katimma kakosh. And then at the top of the next column is where you're going to see katimma kon. It's not katimma kakon. I think the writer of the book has taken only pieces of certain work and put them together and say this is what it's going to mean. When you see the way Byington has put this together is going to give a different understanding. A lot of people do take Byington's work and say, okay, if this means this and if this means this, then we can put them together and it's going to mean this. Well, that might not necessarily be true. You have to consult speakers. And a lot of times speakers themselves may not give the answer that you're looking for because there may be a different way of saying a certain thing, or there may be other ways of saying a certain thing, and there may be dialectical differences to consider. So this is my understanding of katimma kakosh and katimma kakon. And I don't necessarily use katimma kakon to mean which place. It is a modifier, but it's saying which, not which place. Because if I were to ask what place, I would use the term where. It's that easy. You don't say, which place are you going to? We just simply ask where. So it's that simple. We don't need to use the term which place and say, okay, this is the word that we're putting together and it's going to mean this. It doesn't work that way. We have words that are specific to its meaning. So in example B on page 53, where it says katimma kakon ish benili, we don't necessarily ask where, which place are you sitting. When we say where, that's simple enough to me. Instead of saying where, which place are you sitting, and say, okay, this is going to mean this because I'm adding this part to it. It still means where. So we don't need to add anything else to say or to further its understanding. It still means where. Napunakloha Shinshi. Okay, example A on page 52 shows katima in the object position. Oh goodness. My computer's not behaving today. Okay, I'm going to give you some sentences. The first one says, Amafuyot katima iatuk. Amafuyot katima iatuk. Tamaha iatukon. Tamaha iatukon. Kiyo mafuyot alikchi on pisatuk. Kiyo mafuyot alikchi on pisatuk. Alikchi katima kakon on pisatuk. Alikchikatimmakako on pisatuk. Alikchitamaha atta on pisatuk. ONT. Alikchitamaha atta on pisatuk. 15 minutes on this. Fifteen minutes. Okay, the first one. Amafoyet katimma iatuk. Amafoyet katimma iatuk. Whichever term you use for grandfather is okay. Some of you used my father, some of you use simply grandfather, grandpa. All that's okay. Where did grandpa go? Where did grandfather go? Not where is grandpa. Ia, you have the word ia to show that word go. Amafoya katima iato. Where did grandpa go? And it's did because you have took. Tamaha iatoko. There is no question word here. There is a question marker. Tamaha iatoko. Did he go to town? Doesn't say which town. It simply says, did he go to town? 3. Kiyo mafuyat alikchi on pisatok. No, grandpa went to see the doctor. Or went and saw the doctor. Kiyo mafuyat alikchi on pisatok. No, grandpa went to see the doctor. Alikchi katimmakakon on pisatok. And this is where you have which modifying alikchi. Katimmakakon alikchi. So, which doctor did he see? Which doctor did he see? Which doctor did he go and see? Either one is correct. Alikchi katimmakakon on pisatok. Which doctor did he see? And then I separated tamaha atta. Lives near town. Lives near town. Not nearby town. It says lives near town. Alikchi tamaha atta on pisatok. He went to see the doctor who lives near the town. He went to see the doctor who lives near town. Near the town, however you chose to use that. Or he saw the doctor who lives near town. As long as you put it in the past tense, it's okay. He saw the doctor that lives near town. He saw the doctor who lives near the town. He went to see the doctor in town. This is tamaha bilinka. Bilinka means near. Okay, and by separating tamaha bilinka atta, that would give you the sense of lives near town. Okay, y'all did well with those. And I appreciate your time. There will be no class on Friday or Monday this week and next week. There will be no class on Friday or Monday. When we come back on Wednesday next week, we'll begin at Katillo me on page 53. This will be Wednesday next week. And we will be into March. March the 1st. Nampanakloha Shinshi. Thank you, Laura. Yakuki. Laura's giving me the forecast for Friday and Saturday. She says it may be a little bit warmer in Tampa. Okay. Thank you, Laura, and I look forward to seeing you again. And the rest of you, we'll meet back here on Wednesday next week. Chipisa la chiki. Koki.